Welcome everyone to the Radio Toons podcast. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
I have something to talk about, something very important to talk about, okay?
You sound really serious.
Something really serious, yeah.
I don't think it's serious.
I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but maybe you're noticing that there's this new fucking mosquito around that's biting people's ankles. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You have heard of this?
Yeah.
I thought I was going crazy. I thought I had fucking bed bugs or something.
No.
Okay? My coworker briefly mentioned it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I overheard her talking about it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, that sounds exactly like what I have right now. So I put in ANK into Google, and it completely autofilled, like, right away. It said, ankle-biting mosquito, Southern California. There's this new fucking brand of mosquito that exists now that specifically goes after people's, like, ankles and legs. Yeah. So I'm just like, this just exists now? Like, this is, like, a new form of fucking locust or some kind of...
Well, we figured out because I have a son, and for the beginning of summer, we were sending him in shorts. Uh-huh. But then he would come back to us, and his ankles would just be covered in bites. Yeah. So and we thought, well, you know what, he's outside, whatever. But no, it's just anywhere. He was here at home, and we kept him inside for a lot of the times. Yeah. But things found him. And he would be like, it looked like someone beat up his legs. Yeah,
honestly, because these fucking things, like, called their entire family just to snack on my goddamn legs.
Yeah, sweet legs.
Yeah, so, I would say try and keep them off of them. Buy that fucking bug spray or something, because they say that they're like, oh, they're mosquitoes, so they can carry diseases, so you don't know what the fuck they got.
Right, yeah.
So in all seriousness, it's like,
protect your feet,
protect your legs, your ankles, whatever.
I can't believe this is what you brought up.
I was fucking pissed, dude. I was like, you were there when I was like flipping my goddamn mattress. Like,
you thought you had bed bugs, and I was like, no, I don't think you. And that's why I kept telling you, I don't think you have bed bugs, because bed bugs, when you have them, you itch all over. Because they get you everywhere.
Yeah, not to mention you could see them. Yeah. Like, you could see them physically on it. And I heard they even, like, poop and stuff, so you'd be able to see their droppings or something. Yeah. I had nothing like that. I was just like, what the fuck is
Something's going on. And for a minute, you're like, does Lenny have fleas? I was like, Lenny doesn't have fleas. Yeah. He does not have fleas. So.
But yeah, so if anybody else is feeling the symptoms of fucking these crazy insects, that's what it is. And I didn't know this. This was unbeknownst to me until just fucking like today. So yeah, but we're in a new place today. We're in
we're in a slightly different location because like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, I moved out of I was with Steve. We were living in a house together, and I moved out. But the good thing is we got like this dedicated office now for this.
Right. The only thing is that there's not really any like
soundproofing.
Yeah. So if this episode sounds a little more echoey, it's probably just going to be this episode. It won't carry over.
We're going to fix it.
Or if you don't notice a difference at all, then cool. Even better. And we also might be talking a little lower because I don't know, we're next to your wife's room or something. I don't want to.
No, she's over there, but it's late at night.
I don't want to speak very loudly yet.
It's late at night, and I'm not that screamy right now.
It's a chill cast. It's a cool cast.
It's the Radio Toons chill cast.
Yeah. Speaking of things that aren't chill.
That's a weird segue.
Yeah, that was a very bad transition, but I need to say this because it shocked me.
What happened?
So last week, when we ended the podcast, right, I said, you know what, Ernie, you gotta listen to that Dante theme.
That's right, yeah.
Devil May Cry 5, Dante's got this theme, and it's controversial.
And Steve was into this, too.
Yeah, it was like, people hated it, some people liked it, whatever, right?
Right.
Actually, nobody liked it. We went on YouTube to find it.
Yeah, and Steven was like, what's going on, dude? It's missing.
Capcom had fucking taken it down.
And we confirmed it because Steven's like, you know what? Go into my history. Yeah. Because if it's not in my history, like not even present, they took it down for sure.
It says
it wasn't
like
there.
Deleted video or something, right?
Gone.
So apparently, whichever band did Dante's theme song, the lead singer of that band has some fucking accusations.
He got Me Too'd?
Yes. Apparently some underage girl was accusing him of like sexual advances or something weird like that. I don't know the full details because I really am just like, whatever. Like, it's kind of like heartbreaking actually because like, not that it affects Devil May Cry in general, right? Like whatever
they're gonna pull the music.
They're gonna write a different song for Dante, you know, and everybody didn't like it. Everyone didn't like it anyway,
so maybe it's better.
It's a blessing in disguise, you know, whatever.
Like we're not gonna comment on the Me Too part.
No.
That's its own thing.
That's why I hate to say that.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say like it's like fucking Capcom can't catch a break, dude. Like it's like the launch or like the announcement of every single game they've done in the last like fucking 7 years has been dampened by something, you know, like whether it's like Street Fighter V, they're announcing characters as a missing trailer, or like, you know, things leak early, like all of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like the roster leaked at one point. That was a funny one.
Where they had to fix a bunch of the characters right off the bat because people were like, "What is this garbage?"
No, that one was a funny one in particular. So, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? The expansion to Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They obviously add a shitload of characters, right? Mm-hmm. On their website, if you had gone to like a character, like you click Wolverine, the URL was like ended with like Wolverine.png.
Okay.
So people would just fill in the names of whoever they thought, and they would pop up. So, because Capcom put all of them on there.
Idiots.
So people were like, "Oh, Virgil.png." Sure enough, Virgil popped up like real artwork and shit like that.
Idiots.
They're like Iron Fist.png. Yeah.
I was like, there he is.
You know, that's pretty hilarious.
I'm telling you, the development team for that game was so damn small. That I'm sure that they were just trying to get everything. He's like, load it all up and we'll... For
Marvel?
For Marvel.
Marvel 3 was... not to get sidetracked, but I will say that it was a really nice looking game for the amount of time they had. They had to shell out 2 fucking games in the in like... There was like a 6 month difference between both games. And I'm pretty sure it was because they were probably getting pressure from like the Marvel license, like, hey, you guys aren't going to get the license anymore or something. Or
so what I heard from the from what was that show, the Liam show, Unseen 64.
Unseen 64.
He talks about it and he says that former like one of the developers was like, let me put it this way, I like the team that worked on Marvel 3, the new one,
that's
Infinite is a little bit bigger than the team that worked on the DLC for Street Fighter V.
Okay, you're talking about Infinite. I was talking about Marvel 3.
Oh, you were talking about Marvel 3?
Yeah, because I was saying that it looked good for a game that was... It looked amazing for a game that only had like the amount of time that they had. Infinite, I don't know. That's a whole other story, you know.
That's a whole different Chun-Li looks like garbage story.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got sidetracked. So the guy's music got pulled so far just from the YouTube site.
Yeah.
From YouTube.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned with the allegations, they're probably going to pull him off iTunes or wherever the fuck else that he lives.
Yeah.
But another thing about Dante, real quick, just while we're on the topic, like the next day after we recorded the podcast, they released a 15-minute gameplay just segment. So like IGN was just playing another 15 minutes of the game.
Me and you had a conversation about this.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. You were like, we were talking about the trailer, and you were like, man, I didn't see some stuff from Dante. And I was like, Steve, you gotta wait, dude, because sometimes they're not gonna blow their load of Dante on this trailer.
Yeah, so thankfully Dante has all of his style changing attributes that he had in Part 4.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's one of those things like when you see it, you're like, of course he had to have it, but me knowing Capcom nowadays was like, they could just cut
That's
it.
Not a guarantee. You're like, that's not a guarantee.
Yeah, like what the fuck? They could just do whatever they want. I mean, like I don't know how much money they make now. You know, they're not whatever. Anyway, so they uploaded this 15-minute gameplay thing, right?
Right.
Showing off all kinds of cool shit. At one point, it even looked like Nello Angelo from the first game. Remember Virgil in the first game? How he's like a Dark Knight looking thing?
Yeah.
He appears like as a normal enemy, and I was like, what the fuck? So I don't know.
Are you sure you saw that?
It looked a lot like him, and a lot of people were saying it. You know, the resemblance is striking.
I will admit that it was it did resemble because it had like the horns, like they go back, and it had like the sword,
the cape and everything.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if that's just a clone of him that they're just reusing because he's dead.
Okay, yeah.
You know, at this point he's still dead, right?
I don't know honestly.
Because isn't part 4 like? Part 4 is what? Third in the line, and then Devil May Cry 1.
The
right?
timeline.
Yeah.
You're saying? The timeline is part 3 goes first. Mm-hmm. Then it's Devil May Cry 1. Mm-hmm. Then it's Devil May Cry 4, and then it's Devil May Cry 2. And so now I think Devil May Cry 5 is supposed to be after all that.
Yeah, because Dante has all of his stuff. His sword is like opened, so we know that that's one thing.
It looks kind of different too. The Rebellion looks a little bit different.
Well, so does everything. The Rebellion looks different. The Sparta sword looks really different.
It does,
but you can tell it still is that sword. You know what I mean? And Trish and Lady, well, Lady looks a little different. Trish looks about the same.
Yeah. Okay. So at the end of that mission that he does or whatever, he fights this little boss. It turns out that boss is that motorcycle enemy thing that you get.
Right.
Because it's like I guess, from what I understand, I watched it, right? Mm-hmm. I watched the whole video. And the next day I was like, I want to watch that shit again, right? I try to watch it and I can't find it. They took it down.
Oh my god.
Because the cutscene at the end of the boss battle was not supposed to go. No, it was not supposed to go up. There was like some embargo on it or something. That's what I had heard. I think it was because they show Trish's butt. There's like at one point naked Trish appears. Yeah, she's just naked and you see her butt. And I was like, how is this on? I was like, do they not care about video game nudity on YouTube or something? I was like, what?
Sure it was a fully naked butt? Sure was a full butt.
Yeah, it was a full naked butt. But I was like, I just came to see Dante. I don't fucking care about this, right? And the next day, it's like I can't find it. I was like, what the fuck? And then I find the re-upload, which is done by IGN, and it's like, I believe they renamed it like 14 minutes of gameplay because they took that last minute off.
You need to start recording those.
Yeah. No, somebody saved it. Obviously, somebody pulled it as soon as they. I'm pretty sure as soon as they saw Trish's butt, they're like, download this immediately.
Right now.
Right down to this fucking hard drive into the secret file. No, that boss that he fights at the end that's like lightning.
Yeah.
He was in the trailer actually too.
Yeah, he was.
He had like an Elastra-like sword. Mm-hmm. When he starts killing him, there's like a cutscene of you just like stylishly killing him. His body parts fly off and they latch onto a motorcycle, and that's how you get that.
Oh, neat. Yeah, okay, so that's the motorcycle.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, it's badass. I was like, I can't wait to play this fucking game, dude. I can't wait.
I'm telling you, that motorcycle is going to be the Pandora thing. Like, you're going to be able to, like, manipulate it into different things and attack with it, you know? It's going to be great.
But yeah, so I'm really excited for that.
Some other news, if you don't mind me jumping in here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Sony is going to be leaving the handheld market, really? Steve.
Oh no.
Oh no, no more Vitas?
Really? You know, I asked my friend the other day, I was like, how much do these shits go for? And he was honestly like, you just borrow mine if you want, because I don't really use it. Dude, all I have to say about that is handhelds are fucking hard to do. Like,
they really are. They truly are. And if you don't understand what you're doing, it's hard to understand how to build a game around it. Like we've said this numerous times on the podcast, and in gameplay videos. But we're like, when you do a handheld, you got to do handheld games like you can only play them like 10 to 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, close
them up and keep going. But like, you're taking these big ass triple titles and putting them on this system.
I think that's why Tetris did so well on Game Boy when it first came out, because it's like
they're little time wasters.
You have 5 seconds to waste some time, play this like amazing game.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's one of those things. Like, what's great about the 3DS, and admittedly I hadn't played my DS since the Switch came out. But the great thing about the 3DS is you flip it open, play, and you close it, and you're good.
Yeah.
You know, with the Vita, with the Vita, it was always like this thing where you put it into sleep mode and you put it away or whatever, but it's like It's almost resembles your phone where like there's an exposed screen on it kind of thing. And it's almost like, why not just use your phone to play a game at that point, right?
I never had a Vita. I had a PSP, and I really loved my PSP. There was only a few things I didn't like about it. One was the fucking headphone jack.
What was wrong with the headphone jack?
3DS does this too, and they've never done it well. It's like, they just have it in a place where it sticks out. I can't have it in my pocket and like put it on the end, put like long ways, like a fucking iPod or something. Like put it on the top or the bottom. Like, are you fucking idiot? Like
the Switch has it on the top.
Does it?
Yeah, it is on the very top.
Yeah, so it's like you can't.
No,
it's dumb. I mean, the Switch is different though because the controllers are on the side. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, like embedded in the side of the console, like. I don't know. I'm not trying to do their fucking job, right? But like,
don't do their job for them.
Like,
no.
Yeah, like one of the things about the PSP was like we have an SD card. You can put music on this bad boy if you want and play some music. Anyone who did that had like 6 songs, and they got annoyed of them. You know, by the end of the fucking PSP lifespan. Like I just, it wasn't something that was like a selling point for me, right?
No.
But I think everyone's guilty of this. Is like they just hacked their PSP and played other shit on it.
That's exactly what everybody says. Like, now here's the thing: do you think there's going to be a handheld market to be had anymore? Because any kid that has a handheld, it's usually just an iPad or a phone that no one's using.
I think that's one of the reasons why
Sony's
handheld is hard to do now. Because, like I was telling you last week, was like, Animal Crossing looks better on my goddamn phone than it does on a 3DS.
It really does, yeah.
Like, that's sad. And it's like, it's not even Nintendo's fault necessarily, because they made the 3DS, like 10 years ago?
Yeah. It's really old.
To expect them to buy something else that has, like, new hardware and stuff is a lot, you know? Like, think about even, like, fucking Vita. Like, a lot of people were... If they're disappointed with the PSP, they're not gonna jump to Vita, you know? Like,
yeah,
that's why I think Nintendo was focusing on, like, just extending the lifespan of that 3DS, you know? It's like, if anything, if you were to buy a 3DS now, at least there's a shitload of games on it.
Yeah, that's
like,
one thing. Yeah, like, that's totally one thing. Like,
you don't want to be that. You don't want to be like, okay. As an example, this is where the Wii U fucked up, because you don't want some grandma to go into like the store and say like, oh, I want a game for the Wii. It's like, oh, the Wii U or the Wii. It's like, what's the difference? When you have to explain shit like that to them, that's where you lose customers. And it's like PlayStation Portable and PlayStation Vita is kind of similar, because it's like, oh, does this game work on PlayStation Portable or the Vita? You know, you don't want to like alienate those people,
right?
Whereas like 3DS is like uses DS games. Like totally. You could play fucking games from like 20 years ago on your 3DS, which is ridiculous to me.
It has the fact that it has a huge library is definitely a selling point for it, and like now they're super cheap. Like if you get the 2DS, it's like $150.
Yeah, that's
it's way cheaper than a cell phone, and it's like you could do that plus go to GameStop and get like 20 games.
That's the other thing too, because I swear to God, dude, like the whole time PSP was like dying, I was like maybe I could just scoop one up for cheap, and it's like no, they're still like $250 at GameStop retail. Like
really?
I was like, dude, just fucking go on clearance. Like no one's buying it. Like let me get one, please. At an affordable, and it's the same thing with like Vitas. They're like still 180.
They're just
they're not moving.
They're really trying to.
They're not moving on that fucking price. They want you to pay that price.
They want to recoup. I think at this point they're going for the like you and me, which is the retro market, to kick in and be like, you remember when PS Vita was around? And they're like, and it had like 20 games.
I don't know, man. It's, like I said, dude, it's hard, especially because like Nintendo is just like, it doesn't just have 3DS games and DS games. They were adding Game Boy Color games. They were adding Super Nintendo games. They had some Game Boy Advance games with the Ambassador program thing.
Oh my gosh, that was dope. When I was an early adopter of the 3DS. Like I got it right when it came out. And so, if anybody doesn't know, the Ambassador program was for anybody who got an early adopter. They gave you essentially $50 worth of games because they dropped the price like 2 months after. It was like $300. and then they dropped it to $250 right away. But they're like, if you were an early adopter,
you get like these $50 worth of games.
Yeah, you get $50 worth
because they felt bad about like, oh,
they were like, I can't believe we did that.
Yeah,
here's $50 worth of games, and it wasn't just one round of games too. They gave you 10 NES games, and then they gave you 10 Game Boy Advance games.
Okay.
So I got like Mario 3, and it was like,
all I know is you had Metroid Fusion on your 3DS, and I
beat it,
and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? There's no way I can get this goddamn game on my 3DS.
Nope.
It's ridiculous.
I also beat like Link, Minish Cap, and they had 4 Swords on there. Like, they gave me good games. It wasn't just like one of these throwaway games. It was a good set of games.
I wish Nintendo would fix that aspect, dude, of like their store and stuff. It's like, if I buy something,
I want it everywhere.
Give it to me the whole fucking, like, on my account for everything, you know?
I think that's what their Nintendo Online is going to try to do.
That's one thing that Sony did really good. If you bought something on, like, PlayStation Portable, you can still play that shit. Like, it's still somewhere on your whatever, right? On your account or something.
So just explain it to me. If you buy a new PS4, as long as you're signed out on the other one, you can just sign in and re-download all that stuff, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, that's something kind of different. Like, game sharing and all that shit on PS4 is like, to me, it's like the main selling point. It's like me, you, and Michael split games all the time. We go like 20. It's like we haven't bought a full price game in so long. Like,
saving money, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the good thing about doing that. It's it can save some money, but I don't think that's how they designed it. I think that's just an exploit that they haven't bothered fixing.
Speaking of Sony. So that PlayStation Classic, right?
Yeah.
We already talked about it. I'm not going to say anything else about it. But apparently Nintendo is like, they filed some kind of patent.
Yeah, so according to Tech Radar, Nintendo filed for a patent. And the patent was for a trademark for N64. So it's like, why would they need to do that?
I hope it's for Virtual Console or for Nintendo Online, because I mean, I wouldn't mind a Nintendo 64 Mini, like I said, but I was one of the people that was like, they're not going to do that. Why would they do that?
I mean, because they have to. I think one of the reasons they have to do it is not only just for the name of the N64 to like redistribute that, but they also put in a patent for the tri-handled controller.
Okay. So they're going to reproduce that, is what you're saying? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're going to I think that's what's going to happen is they're going to reproduce the controller as well, so they have to refile for the patent.
Maybe they're going to have them so you could slide them onto the sides of the Switch, like the NES fucking controllers, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I remember. Yeah. Yes. Here's the thing, though, right? And I think we had this talk about the N64 last time, is like, what are they going to put on there?
Yeah. They gotta deal with a lot of licenses.
I mean, Rare, for one thing, is like has most of their good games.
I feel like they will.
You think they'll renegotiate with Rare?
Why the fuck why wouldn't they, dude?
You don't think Rare's got it?
Okay. GoldenEye, maybe not.
I think if they're gonna do the N64, that's one thing they have to put on there.
They would probably,
They have to put that on there. They better not move forward without it.
Yeah, people were saying like they were upset about the choices of Super Nintendo, but it's like,
what are you talking about? Those were great games.
People wanted certain games, like people want a Chrono Trigger and shit on there.
Okay.
But my point is, like, everyone just hacks it and puts whatever they want on it.
Sure.
Like, it's like, so what the fuck ever.
No, I got you. But like, remember they recently closed down like a ton of emulation sites. Yeah, they have. So if they do that, for one thing,
remember I was telling you I was trying to look for Mario 64 and I couldn't find it.
I got it.
I was like, this is like the easiest fucking game to get. Like, are you serious? This is the most pirated game of all time, and I can't get it. It's like ridiculous.
That was really funny. And now that they've closed all that stuff, that's one problem, because I don't think you'll be able to find the ROMs anymore. But the second problem is that, N64 games are way bigger than Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games.
Not that big. They're not like GameCube.
But games, like, okay, so I have my Nintendo Classic is like not even 1/4 full, and I have like 300 games on it, right? Super Nintendo is a different story. It's almost like half, and I have like maybe 30 to 40 games on it. N64, I have a feeling like you're gonna be able to put maybe 30 games on it, and that's it.
Yeah, who knows? Because I don't know, honestly. All I know is that when it gets to GameCube, those are when like I had to start downloading shit like in parts.
Yeah.
Because the games were like a gig.
Yeah.
Or like slightly over a
Didn't
gig.
you do Resident Evil?
What do you mean?
Didn't you download Resident Evil on GameCube?
No.
Which game was it that you had on GameCube that like, I can't play this because there's a part 2 to it? Was it Twin Snakes?
What are you talking about?
You were trying to get all these GameCube games, and there was one in particular that you wanted to get, and it was like you had it in parts, but you couldn't get it to run.
I don't know.
Because you remember they did 4 Resident Evil games for the GameCube. It was like 0, 1, 2, and then 3 Nemesis. Those were the 4 games that they redid for the GameCube, and they're like the best ports of those games.
Nah, well, 2 and 3 were just ports. Resident Evil 1 was the only one that was.
You mean 0?
No. Resident Evil 1 was the only one that was like a straight up remake.
Yeah.
The one that everyone loves. It's like
like the best port of that game. Yeah.
No, it's a remake. It's not a port. What I'm saying is like Resident Evil 2 looks like Resident Evil 2 on GameCube. It's the same thing with 3. It's like it still looks jagged and shit.
And then they did a new one, which was 0.
Yeah, and then 0, right.
0 was dope too. I actually played that one all the way through.
Of it. All I remember was you're Rebecca and you're a criminal.
You're a criminal. You were with that guy who had a permanent handcuffs on.
He's a criminal, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys help each other through the whole city, remember? Yeah. And he's like, I love you.
Well, people are really hyped for that Resident Evil 2 remake. It's finally getting the...
Is that true?
What do you mean?
Is that like confirmed?
There's a trailer.
There's a trailer.
Yeah. It was big news, yeah. It's a trailer.
I thought the trailer was just, we're working on it.
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but no, they've actually completely confirmed it. They have all this footage of it and shit, so everyone's happy. It was rumored for a really long time.
I'll be happy when they put Akuma in it. You know what I'm saying, guys?
No. It's
only real fans will get what that means.
Okay.
You don't know what that is?
What?
It was like a famous like EGM, what is it? April Fool's gag that was like get Akuma in Resident Evil 2.
I don't remember that. No.
Yeah. It was a big thing because like at the time. It was obviously fake because it was in their April Fool's section.
Right.
But
not because it's just EG.
The guy that photoshopped it together, I saw an interview with him. He's like, yeah, what I did was I took at the time, Street Fighter EX was out.
Uh-huh.
So he grabbed a bunch of screenshots from that and photoshopped it all together. So the one thing he had to do was like get those and put them into the game, like screenshots of the game. Uh-huh. And he talked about how he photoshopped everything together. Like he made him shirtless. He got the beads, and he did like the whole thing, and I was like, "This is cool."
I just imagine the interviewer like, "Yeah, it looks fake as fuck. I'm asking why you did that. What the hell's the matter with you? Why'd you waste your time doing that?"
Because he actually photoshopped instead of just having Akuma straight out like that, he put the evil eye that Nemesis has, put it on his shoulder.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it shows Akuma like busting out of this this vial.
So it looks a little more like
it looks real. It really does.
Okay.
You know, and especially in old school. Dude, you'll see it and you'll be like, "Whoa, that's cool."
They like how they used to take screenshots before they had like capture devices where they just take a picture of the screen.
Yeah, but this was like. By the way, shout out to the Easy Allies because this is where I saw it.
Okay.
They had this great series on game trailers before called Pop Fiction.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then now on Easy Allies, it's called Game Sleuth.
Okay, yeah.
But if you've never seen Game Sleuth, they only have 6 episodes of those, but they're super, super good.
Yeah, they're very cool because he really does his research. It's Brandon Jones, the co-creator of Game Trailers. Mm-hmm. That's like his series. I'm not saying he's famous for it, but I like know his voice and I know like of him because of that series. Basically,
that series is the only reason I was going to Game Trailers. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, honestly,
that's because Game Trailers, like, bless them. You know, I'm sorry that what happened to them. They went the way of like G4, but like that was some of the content there where it was. I was like, yes, give me more of this. It was like Screw attacking them, and they were doing Angry Video Game Nerd and all that. But like, I went there for Pop Fiction. Yeah. Every time they had one of those. But anyway, yeah, that in particular, super funny, and they had to do all with like Resident Evil. So I think those because of that, I think they might have a wing to that because it was super famous.
Maybe I don't know.
It was super famous.
Resident Evil, or I should say, old Capcom games had a lot of fun Easter eggs, so it would be great to see that make a comeback.
You remember Tofu in Resident Evil 2?
No, what's that?
Do you remember Tofu?
No.
Okay, so if you beat the game with like a bunch of good rankings, you could unlock what's called the fourth survivor.
Okay.
Which was the hunk members went to get the T-virus and then escape. Okay. But you have like a machine gun, so it's relatively good. What you have to do is try to get out in a record time, right? But then they have another one that's called the fourth survivor, but instead of where it says fourth survivor, it says tofu. Okay. And so you're just a big piece of tofu with a knife, and you try to get out.
And you can play that if you beat the game on.
If you beat the game like on super hard, and cool. you get like all A rankings and all that stuff. That's the kind of
dumb shit I want to see.
Dude, it's so much. It's so funny when you actually see it because he's got the band like the what is it what is it called? It's called a beret, like on top of his head, the stars one? And he's just got like these little cartoony hands, and he's going.
That's funny.
It's so funny, man. Like, and that you get only if you beat the game like on these really, really hard difficulties and get great grades on it.
Well, that's what really I want. Fun. I hope they do that. I hope they do something like that because I mean,
of course they're gonna have it. You know, they're gonna have Jill. They're gonna have the Jill sandwich in there. You know what I mean? They're gonna have the Jill. That's the part 1.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 is Leon.
Oh, that's Claire. That's right. It's Leon and Claire. They're gonna have the costumes in there for sure.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna have the Nemesis goes stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember my friend brought over Resident Evil 2 a couple times. I was really scared of it, so I have no like real recollection of that game. Mm-hmm. I know that Leon Kennedy's in it. I know Claire's in it, but that's about it. I think I know more about
Ada Wong's in it.
Is she?
Yeah.
She's in part. Okay.
She's in part 2.
Well, she's in part 4. That's why.
Yeah, she comes out there in part 1, and she's
the other ones I've played are 4 and 5.
Also, Wesker, I believe, is in part 2.
And I've played Code Veronica a bit.
I love that game.
And then Revelations. Revelations was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the one that was on the DS first, right? Yeah, and then they brought it over to the PS.
And then the one on consoles was shit.
It was literally a port, though, dude.
No, Revelations 2. They try to make it like Last of Us, and it was just a piece of dog shit. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. But you reminded me when you were talking about how game trailers went under. Telltale Games apparently is going under as well.
Oh, that's right. That was the other big story from like last week, I believe.
Yeah, which is, it's what do I say? I can't say I was a huge fan of their games. I'm sorry to say. But I know that a lot of their team is ex-LucasArts members.
Well, you know that because they're the ones that started making those Sam and Max point and click. And LucasArts is a company that's near and dear to our hearts. Because I love point and click games. Old adventure games are like one of our favorite things ever. So that does fucking suck. Honestly, it's a tragedy. They were saying something that like somebody's gonna pick them up for the last season. Really?
Yeah, Walking Dead. They're gonna try and finish that up. But it's like they don't. I forget.
It's like it's crazy how like visceral the video game industry is. Even after all these years, even though there's these big studios that make tons of money, you still got like these little smaller studios that are just trying to eke by, and then one day they just get, hey, bye.
That's what I thought they were doing great.
That's it's a weird thing, isn't it? Like. Yeah. Like not to trudge up some old stuff, but like Blind Squirrel Games, the guys that did the BioShock remakes, or not the collection,
Mafia 3, right?
And they did Mafia 3. All those that company also had a huge laugh, and I had I had one of my personal friends that was like affected by that, and he was like, it's awful, but when I was talking to him, he's just like, it's just how it is in the video game industry, and I'm like, that makes it so hard for people to want to go and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's what happened at G4. It's like,
wow.
I'm sure everyone thought like we were doing great, and then just one day it was
like oh man, I used to love G4. And the joke is always, well, why didn't you watch it?
You love G4, why don't you fucking give us money, huh?
Give me money. No, but G4 was just an old idea. Like, by the time they got up and running, it was an old idea. Like, all the stuff that you needed from G4, you get from a website. And that's why platforms like IGN and, like, GameSpot and all these other kind of website-based sites will work.
Yeah, they branched out a lot more too. Like IGN does movies now and shit too, right? And
they do movies, comic books, everything under the sun.
And Giant Bomb has Giant Bomb is great because they do like all their stuff on YouTube now. They even stream and like.
Yeah, that was one thing that unfortunately like it was out of our control, but like G4 could never be on YouTube.
Oh really?
Yeah, the decision was made early on that all of our videos, everything we did existed exclusively on our site. I was like, why though? Why, like, we could just partner with YouTube and make like
YouTube. That thing's never gonna take off.
I'm telling you right now, that's not gonna take off. But I don't know. Like that was one thing. Like Machinima, that was one thing that they had over us, where it was like they could put all their stuff. They could do YouTube Live. They could just like they could do all this stuff. We couldn't. Just because they could get on YouTube and we couldn't. Like they could take advantage of advertising on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Terrible. Terrible. As Mr. Bernie Mac would say, terrible.
Terrible. Is that what he would say?
Yeah.
I
watched something this week.
What'd you watch?
This weekend, I should say. Yeah, it was my birthday this week, and I don't know if I mentioned that.
We totally forgot to mention on the podcast too. So.
It's because. We were celebrating my birthday, and we fucking forgot to record all the episodes for this week. So I'm sorry, there's no gameplay this week because we forgot to record it.
But you had a great birthday.
Yeah, it was nice. We went to downtown Disney. We had some food, walking around. A lot of downtown Disney is under construction right now, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, the Grand Californian, most of it's like covered by these like. It's covered, but they're covered by these really nice. Yeah, it's still nice.
You're still immersed. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's Disneyland still. But like, we went into the World of Disney store, and half of it was like, "Fuck you, come back later." So I was like, "Okay, cool. I guess I'll come back next year." But whatever. Disney's got big plans, and I noticed too. A lot of the restaurants were different. Like. The House of Blues is completely gone now.
Yeah, it's been replaced by Splitsville.
Yeah, some bowling.
It's where you take your girl to break up.
Nice. I get that one. Naples?
Yeah.
The pizza restaurant doesn't have that creepy guy on it anymore.
You understand why all this is happening, right?
Why?
Remember Star Wars Land's about to open up. And so, for one, they're probably going to do like half of it. It's going to be Star Wars. The World of Disney. She's probably going to get this whole new section that's just Star Wars.
Damn.
And then the rest of it's going to be like, oh, look, it's the World of Disney. Like
you know what? One nice addition. They still have that cool art store that I like. I forget what it's called. But right next to it, it's this store called Home.
Yeah.
So they have all this kind of like Disney amenities, I guess you would call them. Like, it's like shit that you would have in your house. Like
it's like they have a bunch of cooking stuff.
Yeah.
They have like teapots. They have like bowls. They have anything that you can literally have at your house to be like, hey, look, I love Disney.
Yeah, and I'm just fucking totally in on this, like completely for some reason. I walk into the store and I'm just like, yeah, I like
all of this. Yes.
Yeah, I'll
take it.
Just juice glass? Like, I want this juice glass all of a sudden.
This mug that's just the crotch of Donald Duck. Yes.
Yeah.
Give me some of this.
I'll take this. Do you have any more? Okay, 3 will suffice. That's fine.
They even had dog stuff, which I was like this close to buying stuff for Leonard.
Yeah, it was great. It's a cool store. I think it's a lot better than the one they had before, which was like
D Street.
Cell phone cases. That's all I thought was in there.
It's D Street. It was trying to be like this hip, like, hey, we're still hip, we're still young.
Yeah.
Star Wars, blah blah blah. That's why that went away and they converted that store, is because all that Star Wars stuff is going to go to the other side of World of Disney.
I know it might sound this might sound so boring, right? But that store in particular was like. They would have Disney characters, but like a different artist would do them.
Yeah. And
they would be like super stylized, and I'd be like, yeah, I want Stitch by Chris Sanders. I don't want Stitch
by like
some random guy on Instagram. Like, I don't want Stitch by that's ugly. I want beautiful, cute Stitch that I saw in the movie. You know what? Like I said, it's probably a boring answer, but it's like I want Mickey Mouse to look like Mickey Mouse. I don't know.
And the other stuff that's going away, just because we're on this topic, is the Rainforest Cafe is gone.
Yeah, it's
ESPN Zone is gone, and then that whole section over by the Big Mickey hat. Most of that stuff is moving. Like the Starbucks is moving. I think there was like an Earl of Sandwich down there, and I think that's moving as well.
It's completely.
So it's just like none of that exists right now.
They just flatten the whole thing.
Is that what they're doing? I don't think that's what they're doing. Like the Lego store is still there, thank God.
Yeah, we went to the Lego store. I was looking for the fucking. Not that I was gonna buy it or anything. I'm not. I was like, what am I the fuck am I gonna do with Legos? Right? I don't have any room in my house, but I was I wanted to see the Ghostbusters Firehouse because they always had it there on display.
Oh, at the Lego store, yeah.
I just like looking at it because that one in particular has like everything. It has like the fucking Cubert arcade machine.
Yeah.
And it has like Slimer and it has like all their ghost traps and it has everything.
Right.
It's so cool. I love it. I'm not even that big of a Ghostbusters.
It has Melissa McCarthy in it.
Yeah,
and everything.
I'm sure. Yeah. Fuck that. Fuck that. No. I'm not even that big of a Ghostbusters fan, but just the amount of detail that's in that Lego set is like, yes, that's fucking
You know,
awesome.
It's funny that you say you're not a big fan. I think the game turned you into a fan, because that game was fun.
It was fun. I did like that game. But yeah, great time in downtown Disney. If anything, they should fix up that AMC, because I went into that AMC thinking, like, this is downtown Disney AMC. It's going to be great. And it was a fucking pigsty, dude. Are you kidding me? It was like the fucking 1960s in there. Like the seats.
Yeah, it's bad.
The seats are garbage and like there's shit everywhere.
I think that is the original. Like when they first did Downtown Disney, I think that was the only thing left from the original Downtown Disney, except for like the Lego store.
Jeez, well they gotta fix that up. Everything nowadays has recliners. Everything has like assigned seating. None of this here. This is like fucking.
Have you ever been to the new Universal Studios? What is it called? Universal, the walkway before you get to the
City Walk.
City Walk. If you've been to that AMC, holy crap, it's so nice in there now. They redid the entire thing. Like if you go in there,
is that where we went to see The Hobbit?
Yes, but see, here's the thing, right? Before it was all trashy and stuff. Now if you go in there and you like go to the left or the right, they have like movie memorabilia out.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have like the goggles from Jurassic Park. They have like the schmuck. They have
goggle, just not the fucking T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
No, they have models and stuff around.
Okay.
But they obviously can't give you the T-Rex because he was CG.
Well, a lot of it.
But they have real. A lot of the props. Like they even have like you remember the little shaving cream can that Wayne Knight.
Okay, the Barbasol can. Yeah. Okay,
yeah. Exactly.
The goggles, like what the.
You don't remember the goggles? The kid puts them on, and that's how he's able to spot the T-Rex first.
I think when I think Jurassic Park. Comic crazy. I think dinosaurs.
Oh
okay,
they're not real.
Obviously not.
They're not real.
Give me the fucking egg. I know that egg was all practical. Anyway, whatever.
No, it's great too because not only do they have that, they have also like a lounge. Mm-hmm. So like you can be in that area and just kind of wait around for your movie to start. Mm-hmm. But because all of it's assigned seating. Like you can just kind of kick back in those seats, walk around, do your thing, and then like all of the movies that are coming up have little like areas to take a picture. Okay. So like when we went to see Rampage, because that's what we saw Rampage. Right outside of it was like a cutout of the Rampage George, and there's a rock standing right next to you. So it's like there's like more interaction throughout the entire thing.
Okay,
and it's really nice and clean.
I want to say at one point like IMAX was like that.
Like, yeah, it had like a lounge.
Yeah, and like for the release of movies, they go all out with like the dressing up of the theater.
Yeah,
because there was like we went to go see The Dark Knight in IMAX. Remember that?
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
And they had spray painted all the movie posters. So let's say like Joker was here or some dumb shit because he's always here.
Yeah, and then there was like a cardboard cutout of like Batman's face, but all of it was done with like. Playing cards, remember? Yeah. And it didn't say Batman the Dark Knight. It was just literally that, and they stood it up in a corner.
Yeah, and there was something that was covered in like Harvey Dent stickers.
Yep.
I forget what it was, but there was a lot of shit.
It was like a
that.
phone booth. Yeah. It was covered in stickers like that. It was great.
There was a lot of cool stuff like that. I don't know if they still do that. Maybe not. Maybe they're like. Why?
I think they do that for premieres.
Okay.
You know, like the first like weekend, they probably do things like that.
Okay.
You know, and like
you know what? Remember we went to go see Watchmen there?
Yeah.
They didn't have anything.
They didn't have anything.
And I remember this vividly. There was this girl there that was dressed as Silk Spectre.
Oh, damn. Old or new?
I think it was the old one.
Yeah, because I remember the bun.
Do you remember that, though?
Yeah.
Some guy that worked there was like, do you want to just stand here and take pictures with people? Because we got nothing. Like, he was literally like, do you have a card? Are you like, do you do this professionally? Because we have nothing. We have like a fucking cardboard sign that says the end is 9. That's it. Like, nobody wanted to fucking watch this movie for some reason.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Especially for that kind of release. It's Warner Brothers, and you think they'd make like a big effort.
I don't know. That movie was polarizing, to say the least. It was like half the people fucking loved it, half the people were like, "Fuck this movie."
Damn, I don't understand why.
That's that's a whole other podcast. Dude.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna get back to
Downtown Disney?
I said I watched something this weekend. I watched this show called Maniac on Netflix. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Maniac? No, I haven't heard of it.
You never even seen the trailer?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, well, it's pretty new. But it's starring Jonah Hill.
Okay. Skinny
Jonah Hill. Very fit Jonah Hill.
So from like 10 years ago?
No, 10 years ago he was fat. He's like super skinny anyway. He's in it and Emma Stone is in it.
Oh, right? I have seen trailers for this. Yeah,
and I know what you're thinking. Okay, I know.
What am I thinking, Steve?
I know you hear Emma Stone, you hear Jonah Hill, you think it's like, oh, my weed, like.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like Seth Rogen's gonna pop out, he's like fucking cameo, and he's like, oh, I'm fucking Yoda impression or something, right? No,
that's not what it is.
No, absolutely not.
Then I'm out. I don't want to see it.
I believe the guy's name is Patrick Somerville.
Mm-hmm.
He did The Leftovers. He created this show.
Okay.
And it's directed by some Japanese guy. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. But the trailer itself makes the show look absolutely bonkers.
Okay.
Which was cool. That's the whole reason I watched it. I was like, this looks crazy. It's like almost like if Inception was done well.
That's a major burn, Steve.
Is it? let me set the stage for you. Let me give you the premise. So, Jonah Hill is schizophrenic.
Okay.
And he needs to testify at his brother's trial. They're only gonna take his testimony if he's diagnosed to be well.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So he needs to seek some kind of medication, some kind of help, okay?
Okay.
Emma Stone,
right,
is kind of in the same boat. Well, not really at all. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Okay, so Steven didn't say that.
Emma Stone gets her hands on these drugs, these experimental drugs, right, from one of her friends. Her friend's dad works for this place called Neverdyne Pharmaceuticals, and they make this experimental drug that she gets addicted to, and she's like, "How do I get more of these shits?" And the guy's like, you gotta sign up for one of their things. They're like test studies or whatever. So the basis of the show is that this pharmaceutical company is testing like this way to eliminate therapy in every way. So you take these 3 pills, the A pill, the B pill, and the C pill. You go through like different like trials.
And
you're gonna be cured of everything
in a certain amount of time or forever.
Forever. Everything relating to like your mental health will be cured.
Wow.
Once you do these 3 steps, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so she had a whole bottle of the first step.
Okay.
So she was just taking the first step and thinking that she was okay, but it turns out she comes to this study and it turns out there's all sorts of other shit. The way they do it is that you take the first pill and it makes you experience the worst day of your life.
Okay.
Yeah, but the way they illustrate that to the audience is that they have like these things that go onto the sides of their head, and you get to see into their mind. So they get to see what like
this is the Inception part.
Yeah, they get to see like their readings and all like what the fuck is going on. And
all
stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So they're like in like a dream world basically. They call them reflections.
Okay.
But every reflection is basically like a different genre of film or whatever.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That must be what the TVs and the advertisements are.
Yes. Well, they don't necessarily see what they see because that would be ridiculous. But like they see their readings and they ask them afterwards, like, "What the fuck what happened? Okay. What happened in there?" But to the audience, it's like, "Oh, clearly you're in the fucking other world."
We're in there.
Anyway, this fucking show really tests the range of these actors.
Really?
Yeah, because like in one of them, Jonah Hill is like an '80s guy, like an '80s kind of jock guy. In one of them, he looks like a gangster, and he's part of like a gangster family. In one of them, Emma Stone is part of like this fantasy setting, so she looks like Legolas because she's got like long hair.
Wait, how did Jonah Hill get in on this?
He has to clear him. He has to be healthy to do the trial.
Oh, so this pharmaceutical company was like, "We'll do it."
Yeah.
Okay.
And it also pays a lot of money or something, and he loses his job or something.
Okay.
But I can't really talk about it anymore without spoiling too much of the show.
Okay.
But all I want to say is that I really liked it the first time I watched it. I started watching it a second time, and I'm noticing all this cool shit.
How many episodes is it?
It's 10 episodes that like points to other stuff. It almost reminds me of like, dare I say, like Bioshock Infinite.
Okay.
Where it's like the same characters, but they're in different worlds and different whatever. What do they say? Like different realities or different dimensions or whatever. And there's things that kind of like link them to each other. Like there's constants.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing where it's like, I mean, they say that they're like dreams or whatever, and it's true because like Emma Stone will be walking around someday and she'll bump into something, and that'll pop up later in the reflection.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting show, and like honestly, it just kind of seems like whoever made this was just like, I just wanted to do this. Like, I just wanted to put
Jonah Hill in a nice 50s montage.
Yeah, and like it just seems like a show that like, what am I trying to say? Like they really tried hard.
Right.
Like there's a lot of detail in it. They really tried to have as many like scenarios as possible look like.
Okay.
And for the most part, they're all really interesting. I really liked it, and like I said, I'm watching it a second time, and I'm catching stuff like I even went on the subreddit because I was like, this has to be like a Reddit show where people just dissect.
Oh yeah.
Every fucking frame of the show, which is exactly what they're doing. So it was cool because it's kind of like it has that level of engagement for fans and stuff like that. So it's cool. I really enjoy it. I think I would recommend it. It's only 10 episodes, and they're not all the same amount of time.
Really? That's interesting.
I think the first episode is like 45 minutes. The second one's like 30, and then it's like 30, whatever. It switches up.
Wow, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but it ends. So no second season. It ends.
So this is just its own little
just its own little story.
That's interesting.
Which is great. Which was another reason why I was like fucking awesome. Like yeah, I don't need more of this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. But it's great, man. Like creative wise, like it's really creative. So like just the amount of like imagination that's put into this show. It's also got like a good sense of humor too. So it's not just like all serious stuff. There's definitely moments where it has humor and you're just like, what the fuck? Like it's almost out of place.
No, I get you.
Like yeah,
I get you.
But yeah, so I'd recommend that show. I don't know if you maybe you watch it. Maybe we talk about it on the podcast. Who
knows? I think we are.
But yeah, we out of time or what?
Yeah, we're out of time.
Okay. Well, it's going to be hard to recap because I don't even remember what we talked about.
We talked about a lot today, but one thing I just would have mentioned real quick.
Uh-huh.
Remember how a couple weeks ago I was like, hey, where are they going to go next? The Marvel Studios, where are they going to go next?
Okay.
I heard this week that, like, the X-Men the next X-Men movies going forward, all produced by Marvel.
Oh, good. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's
Which means we're going to get, like, a dope Cyclops, finally.
Yes, I know. Dude, I've been playing... I know this is weird to bring up, but I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and I've been playing, like, Marvel Superheroes like crazy recently.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at these sprites and, like, thinking, when can I get a fucking movie where they look like this? Like, I'm playing Cyclops, I'm playing, like, fucking Wolverine, Psylocke. I'm like, I want to see these bright colors in a fucking film, you know? Like,
and the only place you could possibly get that is from, like, a Marvel film.
Yeah.
Because they're not afraid to use color. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's not a DC film where it's like, hey, it's all dark.
You know, think about how tragic it would be if Fox had the rights to Spider-Man. It would be so tragic. Man. That would be the ugliest fucking film to ever exist.
It would be.
That would be horrible.
It would be terrible.
There's I want to say that in X-Men 1, Hugh Jackman is like yellow. Who the fuck wears yellow? Fuck that.
He says something like
that. He says something like that, right?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah, he's just like, no, what kind of idiot would design that?
Stupid.
What kind of stupid ass millionaire would design something like that?
Millionaire?
Right? Or a billionaire? I don't know. How much money does Stan Lee have? A lot.
He has a lot of money.
Yeah,
he has a lot of money.
Well, whatever. Anyway, is that it? We got
I think that's it. We got it. Yeah. Because the problem is there's no way to recap unless we spend another 20 minutes here.
Yeah. I'm just saying, yeah.
But any final thoughts about anything?
Yeah. Check out Maniac for sure, please. That's a great show. I really liked it. DMC5. DMC5 is coming out. Await it. I guess. I don't know. Don't get bit by the mosquitoes.
Don't get bit by the mosquitoes.
Watch out for the ankle biters. Yeah.
My final thought is just really quick. I pretty much finished Mario Tennis.
Okay.
Awesome. You should get it.
Cool.
For sure. But other than that, keep your ear to the ground for what's coming from Nintendo, because it looks like they got a lot of crap coming out from Nintendo Online.
Sure.
And it's like all this crap is coming out from them for the holiday season. So
they charged me today.
For what?
It's fucking freaked me out. Because, okay, you have like a 7-day trial or something? That's what I did. And they finally charged me for like
$20 for the whole year?
No, it's $3.99 for the month.
Oh.
But they were like, oh, your free trial's over. And I was like,
oh, damn.
I got an email and I was like, who the fuck is in my Nintendo account? I just got this thing. It's already hacked. Are you kidding me? But no, it was just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. That does it for this week, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.